Hey everybody, today it's been around 10 days that I have been using the Nikon Z8 and I wanted to kind of share my experience. Although I wouldn't call it a review because it is not a review. 10 days is not enough to do a review. I need at least 2 to 3 weeks. So far I have been through 3 gigs. There's another one coming up next week where I'm going to take this camera. But of all of them, I mean, I've been very, very, very impressed with this camera. Extremely impressed with this camera. And I think this is going to be the last camera that I'm going to buy for a long time because it just fits all my needs. I mean, I don't see a reason to go ahead and buy any other camera right now. This just fits everything that I'm looking for. Now, now I have been using the Z9 so far. Here, right here, that's my Z9. That's my Z9. This is the best camera out there for a professional. That's very important to know. I see a lot of people online talking about the Z8 being a baby Z9, and that is incorrect. That's wrong. You are getting it first. You're getting first-hand information from somebody who's been using both these two cameras for a long time. I got my Z9 in March of 2022, and I got my Z8 like 10 days ago. Although I'm not an expert on it, but I can very clearly say that I'm an expert at my Z9. I've been using this for a long time across multiple projects. This camera has paid for itself right now. My gigs have been good. My gig, no complaints. People have been happy with my pictures, and that kind of adds to my business as well. And this camera has paid for itself, and that's why I'm very, very, very happy with my Z9. Now, back to the point where people are saying that it's a baby Z9. It is not. It is not. If you are a professional, you will not be able to you won't be able to use the Z9 with its battery capability on a professional gig. You will need multiple batteries, and sometimes when you're taking video, you don't want to worry about the battery capabilities on those times. And that's why a professional will like the Z9 because I never had any battery issues with that. I was taking videos and it just kept on running. I mean, the battery never ran out. I don't even carry a separate battery for it. I charge before the gig, but then once the gig is over, I just recharge it. I never had that problem, which you will face with the with the Z8. You will face that issue. Now, you may have to carry a few batteries if you're doing videos. Just know that. So people who are saying it's a baby Z9 are not right and are not giving you the right picture. Form, feature, and functionality, right? Let's think about it in those three aspects as we talk about Z9 and the baby Z9. The form of this camera is amazing. This is the best camera that I have used so far. When I'm talking about hybrid cameras, I think this stands above the R5. Absolutely better than the R5 because of the speed at which it captures images. And by the way, autofocus, if anybody is talking about autofocus to me, please go ahead and use both these two cameras and come back with an example, because I never had no autofocus issues with either of my Z9 and the Z8. When it comes to speed and banding, R5 has its issues, Z8 does not. Handling. Let's talk about form, feature, and function. Okay, the form. The R5 is an amazing camera when it comes to form, but not every button is close to your thumb. It's an amazing camera when you're doing a gig, when, for example, portraits or happy birthday sessions, or even wedding events. I've not been a primary photographer for a wedding event. I usually act as a support photographer for a wedding event. But again, a support photographer, some B-rolls, etc., are important for the primary photographer. So I do that quite a bit, and but I do other events. I sports events, sports photos. Um, I also photograph badminton, which is the fastest racket sport in the world. It's played indoors in artificial light. And if a camera can track a shuttle as good as the Z8 does or the Z9 does, I don't think there should be any complaint with autofocus. Let's put it that way. Back to the form. The form of this camera is different, is not the same. It's different from the Z9. So whoever is calling it a baby Z9 is wrong. This camera is way well designed as compared to the Z9. The Z9 has more buttons. It's a little bit heavy. It's stronger. It is for the professional. So if you're taking that camera to shoot in the jungle, or if you're taking this camera to bird photography, Z8 is a good one, but Z9 is the better one. So again, it's not a smaller brother. No. When it comes to features, the technical features are the same. Yes, and that's a big plus for the Nikon users. Everybody who waited for the Z8 to come, and then they get the features of the Z9 and a Z8, should consider themselves lucky, because nobody in the market is giving you that feature right now. Nobody. Essentially, you're getting feature sets or that the Sony A1 has, or the Canon R3 has, in this body, at a much lesser price. I think there is no better value camera in the market other than as compared to the Z8. So again, there is no camera out there in the market that gives you this much value as compared to what the Z8 does for you. So again, you're buying a new camera, you are getting into an ecosystem. It's a no-brainer. Get into the Nikon ecosystem. Best camera, best colors, one of the best lenses. And again, all three of my gigs, actually I did it with my f mount lenses. The f 24-70 f2.8, the new one in the f range, in the f mount class, fantastic, no complaints. I mean, my clients were super happy with it. I just realized that I did not use any Z mount lens on my Nikon Z, and still I didn't have any autofocus issues. Flash works perfect. I'm using this flash, which is an Altura flash, and I have been using it since 2016. This is no complaints about this flash. What else do I have to tell you about the form? Fit is amazing. Functions pretty much the same. It fits very well in my hand. Again, a lot of people are saying it's a Nikon D850. No, it's not. The D850 was bigger than that. I had a D850. It was an amazing camera when it came to photography, but when it came to video, I never liked it, because I constantly had to punch my autofocus in it. But in this camera, the AFF autofocus mechanism is so damn accurate that you don't have to do a lot. And I tried a little bit. I tried going into the DX mode, the crop sensor mode, with my C1 autofocus mechanism, the autofocus boundaries that I have, and I think this camera performs much better in DX mode than it performs in FX mode. I mean, it performs fantastic in FX mode, but it takes the fantastic 2 notches up when it's in DX mode. So I have to take this camera and then start shooting some birds in flight, because I'm pretty sure that DX mode on a 200 to 500 mm lens, where the 500 gets converted to 750 mm, is going to be perfect. I think this is the I'll hold my comment on that, but I think this would perform very well. So back to the big question. A lot of people ended up asking me in my last video upload. Which one would you prefer? Would you prefer the Z9? Would you prefer the Z9, or would you prefer the Z8? If you are a professional and if you are making good amount of money in your gigs, like I'm talking animal photos, I'm talking selling landscape photos. Some of the landscapes, they pay you good. I'm also talking about wedding photography where you make a lot of money. I would keep both of them. If I had to choose between the Z9 and the Z8, I would pick the Z9 because it is a truly professional camera. This is the best freaking professional camera that I have used. And by the way, I have a Sony lens on top of it, a Sigma lens for the Sony body on top of it, the Nikon 85mm, which is my favorite lens. I usually end up using the 85 with my Z9. Go for the Z9 if you do professional work. Clear and straight answer. If you do professional work, go for the Z9. If you do semi-professional work or amateur work, go with the Z8. Battery life is not an issue with the Z8, but as compared to a Z9, of course, the battery is not as powerful. When you compare this to a Sony, it's fairly the same because I am getting, if I do normal videos, like my second gig that I did 4 videos and around 600 photos. I had around 50% plus battery left in it. Yeah, I think 53 or 55% left on it, even after that many videos. So if you do semi-professional or amateur work, just go with this and use f-mount lenses. Don't have to use Z lenses. I mean, if you do fast action, use Z lenses. But if you do portraits, or if you do weddings, if you do not weddings, if you do birthday parties, etc., you don't need that Z mount lens. F mount lens works perfectly for this camera. So again, don't invest a lot. If you do professional work, go with the Z9. If you have to hold the camera, stay with the camera for like 4, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours in a wedding event, switching on, off multiple times, you will of course go with the Z9 because it is a much powerful camera. Battery life would never become an issue for you. Last point. They kept on talking about the camera overheating. It didn't. It never overheated for me. And I'm using a XQD card. Am I not? Let me take a look. I am using a Sony XQD card on it. It never overheated for me. And I'm just using one slot. This became such a huge issue. I just ended up using one slot. I just left the other slot open. This became such a funny issue of one card slot and professional work. Well, you see me, I'm doing it. No complaints. None of my clients complained. And I'm using an XQD. It never heated up. I should try a CF Express. Maybe I'm going to take it for bird photography, so I'm going to use a CF Express. So again, guys, Z9, Z8, the conversation ends right here. I mean, I'm not good. You asked me for those questions, so I'm going to answer that question right away. You're a professional. Don't shy away from the Z9. It is the best camera that you have. Best professional camera out there in the market right now. Period. End of story. Autofocus is not an issue. Please. If you do semi-professional work, if you do amateur work, I don't know why you would put that $1,500 extra on a Z9. Just go with the Z8. When I think about the value that these two cameras bring, the Z8 brings in the biggest bang for the buck, biggest value in the market right now. Love it. Talk to you soon. Love it. Bye. Sorry, before I say bye, I gotta go pick up my elder one. He's in class. But again, letting you know that if you have any questions, reach out to me. If you want me to show you something on the camera or go back and take some pictures, share some videos with you, let me know in the comments below. I would love if you subscribe. I I try to manage my YouTube channel, so I'm going to start managing it much better going forward. But please let me know what kind of videography you would see. I'd love to do that, and I'll make it a prerogative to go ahead and start uploading videos once every week. Thank you. Checking out. See you soon. Thanks. Bye.